Marcus, thanks so much for doing this. Welcome to St. Louis.
Thanks for having me.
What do you want to get out of these appearances? You're on the circuit now meeting alumni all over the country. What do you want to get done when you meet the alumni here?
Well, I think for me, it's a chance to really connect with this network. We have one of the biggest networks in all of college sports and all of college football. And to be able to connect with the alumni, it's exciting. For me, it's a chance to really be able to get to know them. I want them to know, hey, I'm the head coach, but I'm a normal guy. And it's been a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of these different people.
I think I read where you had 48 hours from the time you were offered the job, took the job, and then met the players as the head coach. What was it like holding that inside? We've seen the video of you meeting the players, but what was that like for you?
It was tough because I had known on a Wednesday that, I was going to be named the next head coach, but I was under strict orders to not talk to anyone, to not leave my house, to not talk to the player. You had players reaching out to you, the players that you love and have a deep care for, and they were reaching out like, Coach, is it true? Is it true? And you couldn't respond. And so it was tough being locked in a house for 48 hours with my wife and kids. But, as you've seen saw in that video, that was an opportunity to go embrace your team and embrace players that you love. And it was worth it. That 48 hours was worth it for sure.
Did you have a timeline to become a head coach? You were relatively young for a head coach. In your mind, did you have, I want to do this by X?
No, I've never done that. I've always said I wanted to be a head coach. When I was a GA at Ohio State, I was like, man, at some point I want to be a linebacker coach. I didn't know when that was going to be. It happened to be the next year, and my focus has always been to work where your butt is. And so when I was a linebackers coach, at some point I said, hey, it would be cool to be a coordinator. Then you become a coordinator. At some point I want to be a head coach. But I never put a timeline on it. I never searched for it. The opportunities presented themselves, but I think it's because you just focus on where you're at. You work as hard as you can where you're at, and when an opportunity like that presented itself, you jumped at it as fast as you could.
Things changed quickly. When Brian Kelly took the LSU job, you had to think in the back of your mind, okay, circumstances would dictate this is going to have to go fast, and I've got a shot. How'd that hit you?
Well, it wasn't really that as much as man, I got to make a decision. Sure. Because am I going to go down to LSU with Coach Kelly? There were some other opportunities, and when Coach Kelly called me and said that he's going to LSU, the first thought in my head wasn't, I'm going to be the next head coach at Notre Dame. It was like, okay, there's transition. There's going to be change in my family, and we just moved to South Bend. And then the trickle effect started happening. Things started happening. But my mindset was like, oh, man, I got to go talk to my wife and tell her we got to move again, and that's not easy to do. But, God had other plans, and look where we're at.
I would say you've gotten used to recruiting, but it's been a not transitional, but a great recruiting start for you. Number one class in 2023. From what I've read, the best recruiting class at Notre Dame in 10 years. You genuinely enjoy it. Coaches have to do it. You enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I love young people. I enjoy conversations with parents and getting to know these different individuals and where they come from. And the best part about it is what you do is you get relationships for the rest of their lives, right? It's not like I got a commitment and bam, I got them. Like I won a car, I won a prize. It's like, no, for the rest of our lives, we get to have a relationship. And for me, that's the most satisfying part is that for the rest of our lives that we'll have a relationship and you can really impact this young man's future.
Was there that moment when you sat behind the desk, everybody's gone, your mind's clear, and then you just sit there and go, wow, I'm the head coach at Notre Dame. Did you have the moment?
I still have those moments.
Okay.
I still have those moments. And every day I woke up and I'm pinching myself. I'm the head coach at Notre Dame. And I think it was in January. I get to a hotel. It's late at night. And I turn on the TV and they're playing this history of Notre Dame football. And you see the great coaches like the Newt Rockneys and the Frank Lees and Eric Parseghians and the Lou Holtz and Brian Kellys. And it's really humbling. And it's a reminder of the platform, but also the great opportunity you have. And so there's still days that I say, wow, I'm the head coach at Notre Dame, and quickly refocus and get back to work.
All right, football. You've had a hand in both the group of five with Cincinnati, obviously Notre Dame and big Power 5 programs you've been at. Can that be sustained what Cincinnati did last year, that Cinderella element that gets it, expansion or not, in the playoff? Or was that a one-off?
I'm sure that can be sustained, and I'm sure they're working tirelessly to make sure that they sustain that effort and that level that they're playing at.
Schedule did you no favors against your alma mater in the first game. When did that, I mean, you knew it was coming. You knew when you were an assistant coach that was on the schedule, but then a whole new level, I guess, when you're head coach.
Yeah, my focus was first on Oklahoma State, and after that game, obviously the focus went to understanding who the next opponent is, and we don't spend much time talking about it right now. We will as we get closer to the game, but it's a reminder that, this is the stage you're on, and what better way to measure where your football program is week one than playing a great team like Ohio State. And so that's going to be exciting. Our players will be ready to go. I know they're going to make a big deal out of this game, and it is a big game, and we're going to embrace that. But at the end of the day, it's the first game, and we have 12 guaranteed opportunities, and so let's focus on that first one. Let's focus right now on developing this roster and this team. Then we play that first one, and once that's over, we'll get ready for the second one.
Who are your football mentors? When you have a question, you need to pick up a phone and ask somebody. Who are the people you go to?
Yeah, I think the number one person I call is Jim Tressel. Yep. And that's a guy that had such a big impact on me and influence on who I am as a person. And he's the president at Youngstown State now, but he gives me so much great advice and from a different perspective, and he's the one I call probably more than anybody. But I love to seek feedback and really seek the knowledge that's accessible to me.
Small sample size, but what did you learn, I guess, about yourself in that one bowl game?
Yeah, it's I have a lot of learning to do, right? And you have to be intentional about your actions as a head coach. And one of the things I want to do is bring the best coaches in the country to join our staff. And the other thing is it's a continuous learning process, right? You go from being Divas coordinator to now you have to manage this game, and you got to be able to communicate with the offense, the defense, and that first game was a whirlwind. You're trying to figure out where to go and who to talk to, but those are experiences that help you grow, right? And you have to look. Some of the biggest failures I've had in my life has helped me grow the most, and so that's a game that I won't ever forget. And it was your first game, and the outcome wasn't what we wanted or what anybody else expected, but you know what? There's going to be growth because of it, and there's going to be learning because of it. And so I use it as a great reminder to continue to improve, because it's never a finished product.
Marcus, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.